It's Ashley and Rose. Welcome to the show. If you wanna know the deal, listen up, we keep it real, raw, revolutionary, talking about what's necessary, challenging the industry.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Ashes and Roses, where we keep it real, raw, and revolutionary. Don't be shy. Join our tribe. Like, comment, and subscribe. It's season 3, and this season we're sharing our sabbatical year. And today we are talking about our sabbatical trip to Ghana, the experience that we had, as well as the business opportunities that came from it. I'm Juny.
And I'm Ashley. And as usual, we're going to get started with our thought of the day. Juny.
Yes.
What is your thought of the day?
My thought of the day. Okay. My thought of the day is a question.
Mm-hmm.
And my question is something I was thinking about. Is love an adjective or a verb?
I feel like it's a verb.
You feel like it's a verb?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's a verb too. I had like feeling versus action. So it's like if love is a feeling, right? Kind of like my thought process, just explaining my thought process. If love is a feeling, then one day you can just wake up and no longer feel that feeling. Whereas if it's an action, it's something that you're continuously doing or pursuing, like, you know, the act of loving someone.
Mm-hmm.
So in thinking about that, I was thinking like, okay, society, like just growing up and how we view love and relationships and stuff, I wonder, I've asked myself, you know, have I over sensationalized love, or, you know, have those around me, have we over sensationalized it into thinking that it's like supposed to be this feeling, so much so to the point that we can't actually discern when somebody really loves us? Because if like somebody may love us, but because of our understanding or viewing of love, we may not see it as love, because it's like, oh, well, you're not making me feel the things that love should make me feel.
Mm-hmm.
So that was just something that I was thinking about, and I had wrote it down.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So the feeling aspect of it, for love. So are you talking like butterflies? Are you talking like what do you mean? Like what do you think you're supposed to feel when love is around, or when, you know what I mean? Like what feelings?
Well, I think the feeling that you should feel is a feeling of security, right? A feeling of, like, for example, I know this isn't for all, but like, I know that my parents or my parent, I know they love me. I am secure in that.
Mm-hmm.
They may not always make me feel like they love me today, you know, but I know that there is a love within them that is for me
because of their actions.
Okay. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, yeah, I think
I also like the
answer.
whole, like, you have to work. You have to keep working towards it. So say somebody loses that feeling of love.
Mm-hmm.
Their actions need to still move in love with their actions, regardless.
Yeah. Because, like, we know a lot of parents who, I'm sure, you know, their kids be getting on their nerves, but they love them, even though they may not feel like being in their face right now. But they do things to act out the love that they have for that child. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And I think also, too, like, if we were to go into, like, the
relationship
aspect, I think it's, I think, like, in the past, I went into relationships feeling like, okay, well, if this person loves me, you know, I should feel XYZ or so on and so forth. But it's like, if the person loves me, they will act in a way that makes me feel secure, or that adds to my feeling of security within the scope of that relationship.
Okay, so how does this explain? So how does it explain, like, for example, so for a lot of women, when men like cheat, that takes away from their security. But there's a lot of men that say, yeah, I cheated, but I still love you. Like, and sometimes I believe some of the men, they really do love who they're with. They just do something stupid, or they just, they break whatever commitments they had with their partner. So what does that mean? So what does it mean when we do actions outside of love then?
I think
it doesn't mean we don't love that person anymore.
No, because it's not about that person. I feel like anybody has the capacity to cheat. I feel like me doing something that ends up hurting somebody is not from a lack of love from that person. It's from a lack of whatever it is for myself. Does that make sense? Maybe it's a lack of contentment. Maybe it's a lack of understanding. Maybe it's about me, right? When I start acting in ways that really just feed myself and feed my ego, it's more about me and less about the person. It doesn't mean I don't love the person. It just means that right now I'm blinded by my own things, my own like issues. You know what I mean? But I get that, hey, I can't turn around and be like, I'm sorry, I love it, because I still hurt that person, but I don't think it takes away from the love. And I don't feel like the expectation is that if you love me, you're always going to do things that make me feel loved. No, there's like a level of like, okay, if the person loves you, that sense of security should, it comes in to cover the moments where it's not so lovey-dovey. Does that make sense? Like, God, I know God loves me, but that don't mean that life isn't gonna be hard. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get that for
like,
sure.
Yeah, life is hard, but I'm
over here. I have ammo. I'm like, yo, yeah, okay. So, in my relationships, I'm gonna be like, did you decide to love me today? Were you choosing to love me today? How do you feel? How do you feel about your actions?
The action of love today. But I do think it's an action. It's an act, you know.
I agree.
Yeah.
I definitely agree with that.
So, yeah.
Ooh, nice thought of the day.
Thanks. Deep thoughts lately. What's your thought of the day? You know what it is? I'm used to, like, in regular conversation, I'm used to it just being a give and take. You know what I mean? And then when we get in the podcast thing, it's like, what's your thought?
Can you ask me my thought of the day?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm telling you, I want to be asked what my thought of the day is.
What is your thought of the day?
Thank you.
I'm only human. This doesn't mean that I don't love you.
I know.
Yeah.
Okay. So my thought of the day actually has to do with the show Insecure. First episode. This is not really a spoiler alert. Maybe it is. I don't know. For people, I have a friend who probably would consider this a spoiler alert. But so first episode, Issa and her friends, her crew, they end up going to a college reunion. And Issa's on a panel, doing some boss things. Okay. And so on the panel, I actually was watching that episode with you, and you were like, why did she fail so bad? Like, why did she do such a bad job? And it was crazy because, like, all of her awkwardness, it was like, Issa, it didn't have to be like that. It didn't have to be like that. But, she's awkward, so it fit her with her character. But there was something that she said that really, like, resonated with me when she was saying that, like, I don't know if I'm on the right path. And for me, I feel like I'm with her on that. Like, as entrepreneurs, it's kind of hard to tell if you're on the right path all the time. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, they were asking everybody about, the question that they asked her was like, when did you feel secure? Like, when did you know, like, you were secure and that you were doing the right thing? And it's like, what? You're supposed to feel secure on a roller coaster? Because we on a roller coaster. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like,
it ain't love right now. No, I'm just kidding.
We're on a roller coaster. But at the same time, I was like, I wrote this down, like, kind of just journaling. And this is what I wrote. I said, I don't know if I'm on the so-called right path. All I know is I'm on a path to find a better version of who I currently am. And I feel like my business will benefit from that at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? Like me looking for who I am and what I bring to, to my business, to the people in my life, to myself, to the world. I feel like that will help my business in a tremendous amount of way, like in a tremendous way. And I feel like the beautiful thing about entrepreneurship is that I have the room to do that. I have the room to find myself and but at the same time, and find the business that fits, you know what I mean? Like, and mold the business around me finding me. Does that make sense?
No, it makes sense. I understand what you're saying.
Okay. Hopefully the listeners understand too.
I mean, because it's a part of, because I was taking, I was in one of my classes and it was a section on emotional intelligence. So it's pretty much what you're talking about as far as like being able to figure out yours, because that affects like your emotions. I mean, people can say whatever they want, but how you feel affects how you work. So what it sounds like you're saying is you working on your emotional intelligence and you working on figuring out you and how you show up in the world is going to help you figure out how you show up in your business, is going to help you figure out how your business shows up in the world. Right? Yeah. So I get it.
And then I also mentioned, like, here's the beautiful thing about entrepreneurship, right? You can go about it like it's math, like it's science. You know what I mean? You know what? There's about to be a whole analogy.
I think she's scooting a little closer.
Oh, scooting? Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
So it's like the couch is sinking over here. But so you can look at entrepreneurship, like it's math and science, or you can look at it like art.
It is art.
And it's like it's almost like it's all of them. You know what I mean? It is. Because it's like, yes, you need the math, you need the science, you need the logic. But at the same time, it's like, it's a piece of art. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's a creation.
Yeah. I feel like entrepreneurship is education.
Education as well?
Yeah.
Explain that a little bit.
Like, it's not, so like you go to school, you get schooling.
Right.
But entrepreneurship is education. Like, you become educated in how to do certain things that you can take. I take a lot of stuff that I've learned as an entrepreneur in this business partnership and apply it to because where I fall short in my business is pretty much also where I fall short in other aspects of my life. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I can see that. Like, if you lack communication, you're more than likely gonna lack that in your business as well.
Exactly. Yeah. So, entrepreneurship is education.
Yeah, I agree, because you learn so much. But the part that I'm falling in love with the most is the fact that, like, when you're the person running the business, and this, I kind of, I'm gonna kind of come for like the men who are entrepreneurs. I'm coming for y'all, because y'all be doing the most. Like, some of them just be doing the most. I mean, maybe it's not just men. It's probably us too as women. We probably do the most too. But I feel like they make it seem they become a slave to their business. And I feel like I've brought this up before. But it's like, why? Like, you're your own boss.
Yeah. Why be a slave?
Why would you sign up to be your own slave? Like, that just doesn't make sense to me. Like, I understand there's a time for hustle, but I feel like we are in this place in our business right now, or in our entrepreneurship journey, that we're like, hey, let's make this work for us. Like, let's try to do, like, if I'm uncomfortable with doing a certain task, let me find a way to not have to do it anymore. Yeah. Versus like let's find, like, at least the goal can be like, okay, my goal is, even if I have to edit these podcasts, my goal is to eventually not have to do that. Yeah. You know what I mean? So at least I know that I'm working towards appeasing my wishes. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, and I can do that within my entrepreneurship journey. Whereas if I just had a job, I would have to be constantly looking for a new job to go work for, versus, changing it and making it happen for myself.
Yeah.
Like, it just feels good.
Yeah, it's fun. It's stressful, but it's fun. Like, it's just it literally can be what you want it to be, you know? And like, just going back to what you were saying about like men, not just men, but people who oftentimes it's like, you got to eat, breathe, sleep your business.
Nah,
you got to sleep on the floor. You got to
No.
da. And I'm just like, those things definitely work for some people.
Yeah.
But I paid a lot of money for my mattress to not sleep in it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like finding our business therapist, Tyrone.
Okay. Call Tyrone.
Okay. You just have to find your flow and then perfect it.
Yeah.
You know, is what I'm learning. Because like, I've been trying to quote unquote get out of my comfort zone. And it's just like, but why can't I be like physically comfortable? You know what I mean? Like, because
I mean, like, the thing is like, okay, some people just don't work well like that. Like, yeah, sure, I can be up all night. You know, we do that when it's the time, like when it's necessary, we do that. We are up all night to meet deadlines and stuff like that. But if that's like the constant all the way around, you better believe I'm gonna take a lot of time off, and it's just not gonna be productive for me. Like, I rather just be like in a position where I'm comfortable, I'm happy, and we making money. Like, you know, and I do agree that like, if you're trying to get $1 million by the end of the year and and we have to meet this goal, and you know, if you're so pressed about the numbers, then for sure, like if you're pressed about meeting those high numbers quickly, then yeah, definitely you have to be on top of it. You have to be meeting deadlines all the time, all that stuff. But when it's just like, you know what, this business is a part of my life.
Yeah.
It's a part of my lifestyle. So yes, I need to meet a certain quota for sure. I'm going to need that to happen. But at the same time, just like for a job, don't get me wrong, I work harder in my business than I would do for any other job. But just like in my job, we going to wake up tomorrow morning, everybody's going to be okay, everyone's going to be alive, the lights are going to be on. Like, just like that, it's not an emergency. Like, I don't see the need for me to lose sleep, you know, be stressed, be under a whole bunch of pressure. I don't see the need for that. And
that never stops. It's like, okay, you want to work that hard to get to 1 million. Then you get to 1 million, you're like, now I need 5. Then you get to 5, now you want 10. You get what I'm saying? It's just like, when do you, and then you have, it works against work-life balance, right? Because you have relationships that are suffering, other things that are suffering, and it's just like,
and then you're stressed. And with entrepreneurship, you have to, like I said, you can treat it like art. Sometimes you have to be creative. With this new journey that we're on, we have so many new things that we have to start. We have so many new obstacles. We have to be creative. We have to think of outside the box. We need to come up with solutions. I'm not going to do that under the pressure of knowing that my relationships are failing, my social life is failing, you know what I mean? Like, I'm thinking about all these things, then I'm just going to do exactly what I have to get done, and there's not going to be any creative process to it.
Yeah.
So overall, I'm just happy that I get to do a job where I can include like my well-being, I can include my heart. Like, that is literally, I'm including that in my goals.
Yeah. It's nice. It's a nice place to be.
Yes. So I love it.
But we worked hard to get here too.
No, I mean, we work hard all the time. We still work. Yeah. But I just feel like it's not all about results. You know what I mean? Like, I think that it's, hey, are you happy? Like, I think we check in with each other when it comes to that. Like, as far as, you know, sometimes you'll be like, oh my gosh, this particular task that I have to do for our business is taking up this much space of my time. And so it's like, hey, you the boss. Yeah. So who you mad at?
Right, that's true.
But that's the beautiful thing, is like, we can say, hey, if that doesn't make you happy,
do something else.
Yeah. Yeah. So, cool. Or find someone to replace that, you know, find a way, not even someone, but find a way to delegate this, or to split it up amongst the three. Like, we can, that's how flexible we are right now. And I think that, you know, later on, when it's a big multi-million-dollar corporation, we won't have that flexibility, and that's when I'll be like, just send me my royalties.
Okay. I don't even want to know the problems.
I'm out. Right, exactly. Once it gets to that point,
right. Just
send me my royalties.
Hey, so I want to pitch this business to you. You know, yeah, you can just buy it for $100 million. But yeah, so I mean, I feel you.
Yeah,
I feel you because you really beat yourself up, or at least me, like beat myself up for really no reason. Like I am the one. I am the authority. You know what I'm saying? Outside of Uncle Sam and stuff like that. But like I am the authority, and I'm mad at myself, and it's just like it adds undue stress, So I feel you. I'm working on getting to a place where I don't feel where I can more easily accept that, like, hey, I can not necessarily go with the flow, but I can go with the flow. Yeah, and just flow with it. You know what I mean? So as long as, like, I'm getting to the point where as long as, like, okay, I spend X amount of time on, a task per day, then I'm happy. And yeah, it gets done. So
yeah, it just feels awesome to be able to be like, let there be this.
I know.
Business.
And then boom.
and then you just make it appear. And then that's a problem that's gone.
Yeah. I was actually
no, go ahead.
I'll say that. No, I was reading something. I was reading this book, and the author was talking about like, as an entrepreneur, you spend a lot of time, or as a business owner, you spend a lot of time putting out fires in your business. But what we fail to realize is that we be the ones setting the fires sometimes.
Absolutely.
So.
Right, by doing roles that we don't even know.
Yeah, roles we don't need to be doing. So yeah.
So we set the fire.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. So this is a special episode. We are actually not doing any Juny's Jewels or Ashley's analogies for this segment, because we're gonna spend this whole time talking about our amazing trip to Ghana,
the motherland.
Okay,
the land
so
of our mothers. Last
episode, we mentioned that what we did on the trip that we took on our sabbatical. And one of the first things that we did after
I don't think we mentioned the trip on the last episode. We said it was coming in this episode.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So that's what we did. So that's what we did for
we closed, and then 2 weeks later got on a plane to
go to Africa.
Yeah.
For the first time.
For the first time ever. We were trying to go a week after, but then they were like, no, you need visas and vaccinations. And we were like, oh, okay.
We said, we was it your mom that we were like, yeah, we're leaving next week, like, to Africa, and then I think we had to push it back a little bit further.
Man, we were talking about it like some point in December, and we were like, yeah, we're gonna go on the 1st.
Oh, yeah. Like, we were going to try to bring in the new year or something like that. And then, so pretty much, we decided to go visit Africa. The tickets were like super cheap at that time to go. Staying there was pretty cheap.
Yeah, it was pretty affordable.
So I was like, honestly, the most expensive part I feel like was preparing to go.
Yeah. Preparing to go, like, plus
as far
the ticket,
as like the visa, the
test, the COVID test.
I think you had to get your passport renewed or something.
No, that was the second time we went.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
it's another story.
So
within its own.
Yeah, so we went to Ghana, and it was amazing.
Yeah, it was amazing. Actually, they tried to not let me. You remember that the first time we went, they tried to not give me a visa because my
passport was about to expire.
Was gonna be expiring like July, essentially, like the 1st of July. And I was just like, because you have to have a passport within 6 months. And I was like, it's January 1st. That's not that's 7 months. So I got in on the skin of my teeth there the first time, and the second time I need to do better.
Ridiculous. Oh my gosh. I was like, girl, I will be in Africa with or without you. You better stop playing these games. Okay.
But lo and behold, you know what I'm saying? God has
she made it happen. She made it happen. So Ghana changed my life. I don't know about you.
Yeah. No, I think Ghana changed like my limitations. Like it changed the way I looked at my limitations. I think I had thought about entrepreneurship and stuff on a scale of here in the States and kind of following the standards of business that the laws here set out. And then when I used to think about, going back to Haiti and doing something there, it was always in the thought process of it being some type of charitable situation. But going to Ghana was just like, who told me I was stuck to the United States? Like, nobody told me that. But it was just that, because when you don't experience something, when you don't see it firsthand, you don't have it in yourself, the idea that, oh, I'm gonna go and do this too. But so when we went, we went for vacation. We went for vacation, but
we went for our sabbatical, guys.
Yeah, we were like to rest and to celebrate the work that we had done over the past 5 years. And if you don't know what we're talking about, you need to go back to episode 1 of season 3. But it was just like, it was unexpected. I would say that. I would say the reaction and what I walked away with in Ghana was unexpected. So much so that we ended up back there, just a couple months after. So it was just a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, it was like the initial thing that surprised me was the amount of entrepreneurs that are in Ghana just walking up and down the streets. Okay. Because I mean, they're really self-employed, but when you really look at them and the amount of work that they're willing to do, the grind, the struggle, the standing out in the sun for long hours, like, from before the sun comes up to when the sun goes down, and then they have a night market, and then, you know what I mean? It's like,
it's a hustle.
Y'all are hustling.
It's a hustle, definitely.
And it just made me like the person selling belts, like they're selling it so passionately, like running up to cars, like, and it's funny because someone is in the car missing the belt. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
I literally bought a nail clipper on the side of while I'm driving. I bought a nail clipper.
I wonder if they've ever thought about, like, okay, how many cars do I have to approach to sell one belt?
Exactly. So that's the big thing. They're definitely not doing their numbers. They're definitely not thinking about scaling. They're just thinking about eating for the night.
It's survival.
Yeah. So I just feel like even seeing that, I was like, wow, you guys have no idea. Like, if you're willing to hustle this hard, you would make such a great entrepreneur. If you're willing to run up and down in the hot sun to sell a belt, I don't know how many belts he's selling in a day. It's probably not that many. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, come on, man. You got to be selling something else too.
Sell some shoes with the belt. No, I'm just
who
kidding.
knows? But it's like, anyway, so that was like eye-opening to me. I thought that was amazing. One of the second things I noticed was how every single person there, like, if you're like, oh, I need a lawyer, they're like, oh, I happen to be a lawyer. I'm like, wow, that's crazy. You do that too? So you
Oh my goodness.
you give rides and you're a lawyer? And then you're like, yeah. And then I needed a real estate agent. And they're like, oh,
I have land. I got land for sale.
I sell land.
Yeah. It's funny.
And it's just like they can do everything. But it makes me think about even us, like the fact that we literally will dip our toes into anything. And it just makes me, it's like, it's familiar. It's normal. Like, in America, if you're doing too much, they don't take you seriously.
They think you're
unfocused.
What I mean?
Yeah, they think you're unfocused, which, to be fair, like, yeah, you probably should try to narrow down how much you do in order for you to have some success, at least in one of those things. But in Ghana, it's normal to be the lawyer, the doctor, and the real estate agent all at the same time.
I want to say, and I want to look this up before I say it.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a passage in the Bible
Mm-hmm.
saying that you should have more than one venture. Like, even I forget who was talking to God, but he was like, you know, you should have 6, even 7, even 8 different ventures because you don't know which one is gonna pay you.
Mm-hmm.
So let me find the correct one. So I'm not, you know, it's
Probably back in the day before, you know, the
listening.
government convinced us to let them, you know, take over everything and provide everything for us. Probably back in those days.
What do you mean?
I mean, if you really think of like today, we're really reliant on the fact that our government supports entrepreneurs and allows us to, so that allows us to have a lot of jobs to make money. Whereas back in the day, it was like you probably got to figure out how to make your own money. So yeah, you selling belts is just not going to be enough.
Yeah, you should be selling belts and shoes and ice cream and, you know, different things.
You should definitely be making some kind of passive income somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay. While you on the street selling belts, like you probably sold like 3 a day.
3 belts?
Probably.
Damn.
I mean, like how many belts can you really sell while people are driving?
Yeah, not a lot.
It's not like people showed up to your store. It's just like, how many can you sell on the fly, convincing them that they need one today? You know?
Yeah, I can't think of the verse off the top of my head. But I'm gonna bring it back to y'all. But
I thought you were gonna try to bring it back.
Yeah, I'll bring it back in maybe a later episode. But there's definitely a passage that talks about having more than one venture because you don't know which one is gonna pay off. You don't know which one is the one. And that's something that like I've struggled with growing up. I think, you know, graduating high school, going into school, and, you know, not knowing what I wanted to do and not really finding, you know, myself professionally yet. And all of my family just acting as if it's just like just so unfocused and, you know what I mean, and not knowing what I want. And, you know, just the Haitians are like, oh, you're just ungrateful because you have all these options and opportunities. But it's just like, no, I literally am a person who I feel like I can do almost anything outside of like things that really require a specific skill set. Like, you know, I'm not an engineer. I don't have that type of mind. But I can do a lot of things.
Yeah.
You know?
So you're like a master of
yeah.
What is it? A master of all?
A master
of many? You're a master of many.
Yeah. So the quote is just like, let me find that quote too.
Yeah, because that quote goes into a little bit more detail.
And actually
it's like, yeah, it's a little bit more positive than
it's more positive than people.
A jack of all trades.
Yeah.
A master of none.
But actually is better to be a jack of all trades. Let me give you the exact quote right here. The original saying is, a jack of all trades is a master of none, but oftentimes better than a master of one.
Yes.
You know, so
they never finish it. That's so crazy.
Yeah, because they want you to feel like, oh, a jack of all trades, but you don't master anything. But it's like, okay, you may master one thing, but we may be in a situation where we need something other than the one thing.
Right. And you know how to play the flute. Okay.
Right.
You done mastered the flute, had a PhD in playing the flute.
Right. But can the flute help us in the wilderness?
Right. Like, what is that going to do for us?
And this ain't against nobody who played the flute.
I play the flute, actually. Second chair, baby.
Yeah, so.
Third thing. Sorry, I'm still on Ghana over here.
Oh, no, but the whole episode is about,
it's about Ghana. I was saying the third thing that really hit me. This is actually the thing that hit me the most. Where it was when we went to the Elmina castles. And we saw the dungeons that they kept the slaves in before the actual Atlantic slave trade. And just hearing the story, being in the dungeons, seeing it for ourselves. I don't know if you felt the energy in there, but I was feeling after I left. You remember how upset I was? I was upset. You know, some people be sad, but I was over here mad. I was mad. I was just mad. And it's like just realizing, because they brought up the fact that, you know, they brought people from Benin, and then from Benin and brought them to the caves, the dungeons. They kept them there in those dungeons, and then they sent them off to Haiti.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, that automatically gave me chills, because I was like, yo, I had ancestors that passed through here.
Mm-hmm.
Literal people in my bloodline
Mm-hmm.
that passed through here.
Yeah.
That had to stay here, that had to endure this, and had to survive this and take it on. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And we're here.
Yeah, I know Cape Coast was definitely an experience. I remember you being mad, and I feel like for me it was just like a return. It kind of felt like I'd been there before.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm sure if you had been there before, it wasn't me.
It wasn't in this form.
No, I know. I'm just saying,
yeah.
like, as far as like, say you're feeling that through just because our ancestors, it's in our DNA. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, like our body remembers, like our
Mm-hmm.
DNA remembers.
Mm-hmm.
So say that's the reason why you felt it was familiar.
Mm-hmm.
Did you feel scared? Did you feel like?
No, it was just like well, I didn't feel scared because I knew that now I'm not there in the same position. Like it's
in the
not
same
the
position.
same position, but it was really just more of like a wow, like full circle type thing.
Mm-hmm.
In just feeling like, okay, my ancestors came from this land, then went to Haiti, to which I was born, and now I'm in the States, and now I'm back to the land from which my ancestors came, which Benin is still, you know, on my list.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just kind of like a full circle moment to feel like, wow, like how I make it back here, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Of all of us in the because just in family, in generations, like for it to be me, it was also kind of like an honor.
Oh yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying?
I never really thought of it that way either.
Mm-hmm.
Like, whoa. I mean, I don't think I was the first in my family though. Like, I guess like on my immediate family, yes.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like I've had. You said your grandmother was in Africa.
She was in Africa, but I'm talking about in that in that space.
In that space.
You get what I'm saying? Yeah, my grandmother went to Africa.
Where like literally one of your ancestors
came through. Yeah.
That is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because like we don't get to have that kind of history. Like, you know, white people walking around here, like, you know, go see Lincoln and be like, oh my God, my grandpa was here. Like, you know, but we don't have that.
Yeah.
Here,
yeah. And know? Even still being there, like, we still don't have the history. Like, I don't know, like, from their recollection, what they experienced. You get what I'm saying? Because of just over time and communication and things like that. So it was just like, wow, like I get to be here. It was that's kind of how I was looking at it. So it was just kind of like it was humbling. Yeah.
But the big thing that I left the castle with, I definitely left with a lot of anger. I left with that, you know, revolution, like the revolution must be televised.
Yeah.
Or is it won't be televised? Is that what it
will be?
It will be televised. Okay. But that's how I was feeling. But it made me realize, it opened my eyes, and I was like, yo, you know, we're putting all this investment as far as time, energy, money, resources, you know, trusting, you know, family, everything. We're investing it all into this country that
don't belong to us.
Not only doesn't, like, we were
brought to.
And the thing is like, it's only improving that same country that did all of this to our ancestors. So for me, it was like, okay, eye-opening as far as I can't keep investing all my coins in a country that took from our people, and then still taking from our people.
It doesn't acknowledge it.
And doesn't even really value what we bring.
Yeah.
Even though we do bring, as Black people, as Haitian people, let me be more specific in these days, as Haitian people, we bring value. and they're not acknowledging those of us that, you know, the Haitians that are bringing value. They don't want to acknowledge that. They want to acknowledge, you know, the destruction, the disruption that came at their hands. That's what y'all want to point out, that, oh, we didn't recover after you rape and took from us. I'm sorry that we're still traumatized.
Right.
Like,
yeah. And then even after we did start to rebuild and recover, but then, you know, you kind of like kept us out.
no, you definitely weren't trying to include us. And, you know, so for me, it's like, okay, that brings us to business, to talking about business in Ghana.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what is stopping us from investing in the motherland where we come from? Like, imagine how much we could change, you know, the financial situation, if we brought our talents, if we brought our resources, our money,
our skill, our intelligence, our education, and, you know,
our perspective.
Exactly.
You know, and we collaborate. And I'm not talking about, you know, a whole new, I always was afraid. I never thought that was an option to go back. Before we went, I never thought it was an option to go back there, open businesses, start our own, because I took this African American Studies class, and my professor that I'm actually going to be meeting up with soon, I can't wait to have this conversation with her, but we discussed us going back to Africa, and she talked about, oh, okay, so are we about to be colonizers? You know what I mean? Like, is it better? I mean, like, are we any better than the ones that came before? You know? And she talked about being careful of that, you know, like assuming that we can just go back and change a whole country.
Yeah.
And we have to make sure not to repeat history.
Yeah. I think for me, it's not even about changing the country. Listen, it's just about having a piece of my birthright, you know, and those who want to join are going to join, because I think the things that make things whole, like you have to have dysfunction in order to have function, right? In order to function. So for me, it's really more so going back to this place that already belongs to me. And in terms of like Africa, in terms of having something that, you know, someone cannot just come and kind of take away, and then having something outside of, because even here, I mean, we own things, quote unquote, but in reality, the government owns everything, right? So, and even in a place like Haiti, which is originally where I'm from, it's like, yeah, you own things out there, but there is such a tug of war over the country itself that it's just like, you know, sometimes there's this level of discouragement because of just things that have gone in the past. I mean, don't get me wrong, like, that's my country, I love my country, but I feel as though the stability of, like, you can create an empire within Africa and never have to leave, never have to use a different continent's money. Do you understand what I'm saying? Well, I'm not going to say their money, but never have to use a different continent's contacts or networks, you know? And I guess that's essentially what, you know, Pan-Africanism is in terms of like using the resources that we have here at home and really leveraging them to our benefit. I look at Africa as if like, yo, anywhere we go, like there's poverty. Just walk just down the street. If I get in my car and drive down the street, I will see poverty, right? So I'm not.
You're talking about here.
Okay. Yeah, like here in the States. Like, so I don't have this expectation that I'm gonna go and change the entire place, but hey, I can employ 10 people who look at their lives differently, who go and do something differently than their parents did, and then their children will do something differently. You get what I mean? Just the same as how, like, okay, we've employed people here who now think differently about what it's like to work, what it's like to, you know, kind of be like in charge of your own livelihood and things like that. And I know for me, like, I looked at it like, yo, this is something that I can leave. Like, this is legacy building right here, you know? 'Cause it's just so many loopholes that we have to jump through here, and it's not that it's not possible, it's definitely possible, but to be in a place where, like, speaking about Africa, speaking in terms of Ghana and Africa, like, when it comes to living and business, it's a whole nother set of customs. It's a whole nother set, a way of life, right? And they have, like, the nuances within their society that are challenging or that are difficult.
For sure.
But at the end of the day, you know that it's the impact that you're doing is impacting people who look like you. People
and
who,
it's also like,
yeah.
I mean, okay, like you said, there's going to be a whole new set of problems, because here I want to say there's been so many times, I'm not going to lie to you, there are so many times where I wish I could show up to a meeting white. That's terrible. That's terrible to say, but I'm being really real with y'all.
That's real and raw.
That's really real. Like, because I feel like the outcome will be different.
Yeah.
I feel like the outcome will be different. You would ask me different questions. You would, you know what I mean? Like, I genuinely believe that, you know, whereas in Ghana, the issue won't be me being black, but the issue will be me being a woman.
Yeah.
I'll have to send in a man in my place.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like, I don't know what that frustration is going to be like until I experience it myself. But I know I'm ready to stop wishing I could show up to a meeting white.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I'm like, knowing that that's not going to be a detriment, like, you know, but you see, that's why, you know, men, you know, they want to downplay our issues, but here we go. We're going to go solve a problem, but then there's going to be a new issue that
there's going to be a new issue.
You know what I mean? When it comes to business in Ghana.
Yeah. And Ghana is so cool because there are no limitations in terms of business. Like, we could literally open a chocolate factory, like Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and make it, and not be like, yo, Hershey's is never gonna give us a chance. Like,
listen,
we never have to worry about that. Like,
you know, and when we're saying it, it sounds like, oh, you could just go and do it. It's not that you can just go and do it. Like Ashley said, like, there's gonna be, you know, obstacles.
Definitely. But
it's just the return. It's just a different type of atmosphere. I mean, there's frustrations. There's, I think, also a big challenge in doing business in Ghana is gonna be, and if in case we haven't, like, explicitly said it, like, we're interested in doing business in Ghana, and which is why we ended up in Ghana again and again and again and again. So I think one of our biggest challenges is going to be mindset. It's going to be, like, they have a way of doing things.
Yeah.
And we're going to come in, like, with our foreign education and our foreign way of doing things, our foreign perspective. And it is going to come off like, oh, we think we know everything, but it's not necessarily that we think we know everything. It's just that we know that this has worked for us before, you know? And we're able to kind of, like, see, like, for example, like, remember when we went to that photographer, and then you were talking about how, because I think I asked him, like, what I asked him, how many pictures he does in a day. I mean, in a week. Yeah,
like how many clients.
Yeah, I was like, so how many clients do you do in a week? And he was like, I don't know. I never thought about that. You get what I'm saying? And it's just like, but this is your entire business.
That's like the basic, like, you should have an idea. Like, you've been doing this for a long time. Like,
yeah. You know, and he has, 10? Is it 10? Is it 3? Is it 4? Is it 5? So just even something as small as that, whereas here you walk into a business meeting, that's going to be their first question. Like, what are your sales?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, how much money how many products do you sell?
What's your overhead?
Yeah.
What's that? Like, and you have no idea.
Yeah.
You know?
So I think,
customer service is not a thing out there.
No.
But to me, I
don't think customer service is important. Okay, hear me out. I think in a society, okay, I know people are going to be like, what? Okay, there is a difference between a quality, good product, right, and being respectful. I think customer service and respectability is kind of what we're talking about when we talk about, like, foreign traditional ways of doing things, right? Here in the States, we have adopted this way of like people pleasing, right? And yeah, there's absolutely, like, I get it. I definitely get it. As a business owner, if I own a McDonald's, I would want you to give them their McChicken with a smile. But you smiling or not smiling, I still got paid for the McChicken because the person loves the product.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
That's what we're selling. We're selling the product because that person that we are employing could be a different person for every day that you come to this McDonald's. Do you understand what I'm saying?
But we're spoiled with the expectation of having good customer service.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. We're spoiled with the, thank you for putting it like that. Like, it is a privilege. No, seriously, like, no, listen, seriously, like, we live in, like, United States, we live in a bubble. We live in a bubble of convenience, of, you know, I want you to smile at me when I come and pay this. You get what I'm saying? Like, and that's not even me caring about, like, how do you know she didn't wake up from, like, losing a loved one? You get what I'm saying? The day before, but she still made it to work. You get what I mean? You don't have to be rude. I think respectability is important. Yeah. I think respect is important. Being cordial, being just humane is important. Right. But the idea of bending and twisting, like the idea of the customer is always right, gives a level of, puts a level of manipulation in the hands of the customer because the customer knows that they're always right. But sometimes, like, the customer is dead ass wrong, you know? So I think that, you know, when we look at other cultures, we're like, oh yeah. And just speaking from my own culture,
they're gonna show up like themselves. They show up like their whole selves.
You know what I'm saying?
Like Jobs been asking people lately, like, show up as your whole self.
Yeah. And you know, I'd rather you not smile at me, but to fake smile at me and then spit in my sandwich. You get what I'm saying? So crazy. I feel like there's a level of respectability we can teach like, hey, your product is only as good as the people who come and buy it. Yes, it's off-putting to us Americans when we show up someplace and you're not smiling and stuff at us. But when you go to other countries, as long as the food is good, they showing up to eat it. Yeah, they showing up. I know. To pay for
when
it.
You said customer service is not that important, I was about to be like, at a Jamaican restaurant.
you get what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, if it's a necessity, I'm gonna come and buy it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
that's true. I mean, that's true. But I think that what it is like the marketing, the way that branding and marketing happens now is that they're not just selling the product anymore. They're selling a whole experience.
Yeah, they're selling an experience.
So even with Walmart, you think it's necessary to have a greeter at the door? It's not.
Those greeters don't be.
But they literally have a whole job role for you to just greet the person at the door. So for them, it's an experience. It's not just you coming to get everything you could possibly think of under the sun, because that's what Walmart has. But it's because they want you to have an experience, a good experience.
Yeah, because the people, we as the society have been taught to value.
Can you imagine going to Disney World and people got attitudes? Like,
right, but that's what I'm saying.
The experience.
That's what I'm saying. You don't have that expectation. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, there's an expectation, a standard in the society set for us that I'm gonna go to this place and get this experience. So when the experience that I come and receive does not match up to the one you advertised, then yeah, it's a problem. But if I'm not walking in with the expectation of that experience. Yeah, who doesn't? I'm not saying that I don't like it.
No,
I'm just saying,
even for those staff, even within my business, I would want good customer service. I want people to leave with good experiences.
Listen, I don't want people to think that I'm saying that I don't care about your experience. I'm just talking about, like, yeah, I want my business to have good customer service as well. But I'm just saying, in the grand scheme of, like, in the context of talking about Ghana, is in the grand scheme of things, it's not that big of a deal.
Well, yeah, when it comes to in Ghana, it's not that big of a deal.
If we're talking about here,
currently, I do think that once tourism starts to grow, they're gonna have to peep game. You know what I'm saying? And realize, because are they gonna have to, or yeah, because American,
but we're the one invading their home.
Hey, okay, because here's the thing. Here's what happens. One business is gonna peep game, right? So say we happen to open, we haven't decided what kind of businesses we're opening in Ghana yet, but we are, we're playing with the idea.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're considering things. But say we decide to open a business that will attract tourists.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And my restaurant is welcoming people at the door with a smile. And the local Ghanaian restaurant is, you know, making sounds, rolling their eyes, which I don't feel like I experienced
They don't
that.
do that. Yeah,
No, I didn't experience that at all. But I'm just saying, like, say their customer service is trash. You know what it is about their customer service? You need patience. That's the big thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, say it takes you 2 hours to get your food over there.
2 hours.
But it takes you.
Yeah. No, I know it's an example.
Girl, it has taken us 2 hours to get our food.
When?
We be sitting there for a long time. We don't care when we were there. We just didn't care because we were just like, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, time didn't mean anything.
2 hours?
Time did not mean anything over there, but we definitely sat and waited for a long time. A lot of the time.
Wow, I never really felt like it. I felt like getting from one place to another place was long, but
a lot of the times we had a lot of waiting. We did a lot of waiting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I don't think you remember, but we did a lot of waiting.
Yeah, I don't think I know.
And that's with everything in Ghana. Like, you wait. It's like there's no need to rush. But it's funny that people be acting like they rushed when it's like, why are you rushing? Because you know you're going to have to
They're not really rushing. They're putting on a show to make you feel like they're rushing. You know, that's the thing. To wait
anyway.
Yeah.
You know?
But I feel like in terms of tourism, like, it's like a beast with two heads, right? Like, as a tourist, yeah, I want, this great experience, yada, yada, yada. But there also has to be a level, because that's the ethnocentrism. I don't know if it's ethnocentrism, but just the idea that here I am in your space, in your home, in your land, and you still have to live up to my standards and expectations is very egotistical.
You don't have to, but if you're trying to get this bag, that's what happens.
But even that is what I'm saying. Like, that idea that, like, I understand what you're saying from a business standpoint, but try to understand what I'm saying from just like a general cultural humane situation. It's not about sucking it up. It's just about when people come here, you have to learn the language. You have to learn how to speak English. That's it. That's period, point blank. Mm-hmm. If you want to do certain things, if you want to get certain, but it's
not in Miami, but yeah,
it's the Miami is different, but it's the lay of the land that you're able to communicate in the language that is spoken in this country. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But when we leave this country, we have this expectation that they're supposed to accommodate us, but we're no longer in our country. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I feel like this idea that things have to bend to please us, if we wanted things to be the way that we have it at home, then why the hell are we leaving home? Well, or are we going to experience a new culture?
It is experiencing a new culture. However, I think about when people have bad experiences, I don't care if you're a local or a foreigner. Like, when you have a bad experience, you take that with you.
But what lens are you using to judge a bad experience? Are you using your own personal perspective?
No, but I'm thinking
lens?
Even the local, like, if the local feels like they had a bad experience where maybe they didn't like the food and the food didn't get replaced, or, you know what I mean? Or the person was rude to them or talked to them some kind of way, or, they feel disrespected in any kind of way, they're not going to want to spend their money there anymore. That's just basic business principles. That's basic business principle. You know what I mean? Like, so right. For me, I think that it's not necessarily bending, but I'm also consider, like, you don't think local Ghanaians would appreciate better customer service? Like, if one restaurant, say there's two restaurants across the street from each other. Mm-hmm. If one restaurant decided to improve their customer service, more than likely more people would go there versus to the other place. Of course, if the other place's food is the bomb, there's nothing you can do about it. But people would consider, like, but she is a lot nicer to me when I go there. Mm-hmm. And people are gonna they're gonna go with the good customer service over
the good food.
I mean, no, good food always wins.
Right. So
good food always wins. But I'm saying, but if you have a huge attitude and say your food is around the same, good customer service is they're definitely going to leave the other space.
Yeah. And I'm not disagreeing with you. Like, I want you to know, I understand what you're saying. Like, definitely as a business owner, I definitely understand what you're saying, and
I
I
understand what you're saying,
agree to that sense too. I'm just playing devil's advocate in the sense that we're always looking to change what already exists, and it's like instead of looking to change what already exists, we can just find like the things within what already exists that can be tweaked versus like coming in and saying, well, like if this was here, then this you know what I'm saying? Because there is a level of their culture that is a part of that. You know what I mean? Like there's a way that they communicate with one another that you and I coming in are not going to understand.
Or
we're going to think it's or appreciate, but that's their culture.
Yeah.
You know, so are we coming in saying like, okay, I get that that's your culture, but it just doesn't work in the land of in the way of doing business. You get what I mean? So I think all of that plays into it. So it's not, and I'm just saying that we as Americans and as people who are in a quote unquote developed land, you know, hear the contempt in my voice, but we go in with this idea that our way is better, and that's not necessarily the case, you know? And I think it robs us of the ability to just observe their way
of doing it
before coming in and saying, well, we have the antidote. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think it would be more valuable to observe their way of doing it and find a way to merge the two so that they're not feeling a sense of like being erased.
Yeah. At the same, I agree with you 100%. I agree that we shouldn't go in changing stuff. But I think the whole like customer service, lack thereof, or whatever, could also, something else that could play into that is that like we pay attention to what customers keep coming back. We pay attention to the percentage of return customers we have. Are they paying attention to that?
They're not.
Exactly.
You get what I'm saying?
So,
yeah.
And that's the big thing. Like if you have a whole bunch of these customers that only come one time, you know what I mean? Like you have to figure out, okay, what is it? Like, but if you don't care, then that's how you're going to have all these like random numbers. But like if you're trying to make it like a math, and that's math and science, strict logic, based off numbers, based off, you know what I mean? Based off results. I think that's where the whole customer service piece comes into play, because America has taken the time to figure out how to manipulate customers into coming back. You know what I mean? Like they've taken the time to study this and study the humans here. Because I even consider like, wow, a lot of the principles that we learn here in America may not apply in Ghana
or anywhere else.
Yeah. But it might not apply. Like, you know, certain things that like certain ways that certain tendencies that we have, they may not have. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, they did like studies about like colors and how colors affect you and how like all these moods and scents and all that stuff. It's like, okay, that might be different for Ghanaians. Y'all weren't doing those studies on no Ghanaian people, no foreign people. Y'all were probably doing those studies on
because the environment was different.
Exactly.
You get what I'm saying? It was different variable. And I think all of that goes back to mindset. Like before even having them understand why customer service would be important, there has to be a mindset that changes for them, because like a lot of them don't even look you in the eye. You get what I'm saying? So it's a much deeper thing than, I mean, we weren't trying to get this deep, but like it is deep ingrained social norms and customs that move the way they do things, you know. And there's a lot of people who have left and come back and have built successful businesses, I think, you know, and have found a way to marry the two in terms of like, you know, still keeping a part of the culture and norms intact while bringing in, you know, systems and things that have worked in other places. So it'll be a challenge, but I think overall it'll be fun. Like what I like about Ghanaians is that they're open. Some of them are open to things that will bring, you know, their country like more.
Yeah. I mean, for sense, right now, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like it's so new now that they're like, yeah, come, like, we're so excited. Like, we want the diasporas to come back. And you know what I mean? But I feel like, you know, after a while,
they might be like, send these people home.
Yeah, they might be like, y'all don't belong here. You know what I'm saying? Like, the same it could easily change at any time. And that's the crazy thing. I was having this conversation with my mom, and like, you know, cause I was having this conversation with her, and she was just like, you know, I want to go back home. Like if I'm going anywhere, I want to go back home because I'm tired. I'm tired of people saying we don't belong here. You know, and that hurts. Like to even hear that come from my mom, I'm like, that is so sad. Like that is so true.
She's talking about
Haitians, yeah, because it's like everywhere Haitians go, they make it seem like we're just a nuisance and this and that. But it's like, yo, we bring so much value. Y'all have no idea. Like the black countries that are free right now, y'all wouldn't even know it was possible. You know what I'm saying? And now everybody's like, oh, they don't want Haitians here. Like everywhere you hear in the news, they kicking out Haitians. You know what I mean? Like, but it's okay. We last now.
The first shall be last.
We last now, but just wait on it. Okay.
Yeah.
So I just thought, you know, when it comes to going to, you know, a country that's not ours, like we have to consider. And the thing is they're saying it's home. They're saying come back home. That's what the Ghanaians are saying. But it's like you're saying that now.
It's marketing.
Until we're taking up resources. Yeah. Until we're taking up jobs.
Until we make it our home.
Yeah, exactly. Until we make it our home. Until we're, you know, too involved in the politics. And you know what I mean? Until that happens, then all of a sudden you're not going to want nothing to do with us. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that's something that I'm paying attention to as well. Yeah.
So I mean, it's interesting. I'm excited. I mean, I know that Ghana hasn't seen The Last of Us.
It definitely hasn't seen The Last of Me.
Yeah.
So
do you want to?
I guess elaborate? I will. I mean, like this is a little announcement. I mean, are we ready to go into our quote of the day?
Oh yeah, sure.
So just right before my quote, I want to say just a little announcement that I am relocating to Ghana.
What? Oh my gosh, you are? No, just
I
kidding.
am. Yes, and I'm excited about it. I'm excited that, you know, the business that we're in has put me in a position to be able to work remotely and not necessarily have to be stuck to one place. So that's another beautiful thing about this journey of entrepreneurship is like, you know, you create what you want to create out of it. And this goes back to, I think it's perfect with like my thought of the day being that, you know, because people are like, oh my gosh, are you going to stay forever? What are you going to do? And, you know, and it's like, you know what? I don't know if I'm making the right choice. Like Issa Rae, just all awkward. No, I don't, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know that I am. All I know is like, once again, that I'm following what feels right, you know, inside me. And so the quote that I'm actually going to give is, it's a J. Cole verse. And it says, this is my canvas. I'ma paint it how I want it, baby. This is my canvas. I'ma paint it how I want it. But long story short, I just feel like, yeah, I'm going about this journey like, hey, this is my canvas, you know, and I'm right now I'm gonna paint it with the colors
Ghanaian
of the Ghanaian flag for a second, you know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, I know it's gonna be a beautiful piece of art. At the end of the day, you know, I don't know what my journey is, you know, bringing me to. I don't know if it's the right thing for my business. You know what I'm saying? Like I've never worked virtually in Ghana before, overseas before. So I'm going to see, you know, what it does. And I'm going to, once again, with entrepreneurship, you know, if I have to adjust, if I have to make changes, if I have to, you know what I mean? Like switch something up, we'll figure it out as we go. So something I'm excited about. So yeah, that's my quote of the day. What's yours?
Nice. Well, I mean, so you're going to Ghana, huh?
Yes, ma'am.
Wow. So that's exciting. I'm relocating to Italy. No, I'm just kidding.
Here you go.
But no, that's exciting. It'll definitely be interesting. Working on two different continents and and have a place to crash.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So my quote of the day, I feel like it kind of goes along with the the conversation that we had, and in having ideas of doing projects in Ghana, I am interested in definitely, investing on the entrepreneurial side of things. And this is from the great entrepreneur himself, Warren Buffett. And it says, someone's sitting in the shade today because someone planted a tree a long time ago. Okay, so this is for my grandchild who is watching this video. As you sit under the coconut tree in your mother, my daughter's backyard in Ghana or Benin or Haiti, Jamaica, wherever you are, I planted that tree. So you're welcome. Yeah.
That's beautiful. That is beautiful.
Yeah, that's my quote. So I'm excited, to embark upon this journey, another Ashes and Roses journey, and we'll keep you guys abreast. Yes. So like always, you can listen to us on Apple, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Ashes and Roses Real. We'll see you next time.
See ya.
Bye.
Got a lot to talk about, 'cause it's ashes and roses, roses, roses. It's ashes and roses. Got a lot to talk about, 'cause it's ashes and